Everyone wants to start a business, but nobody wants to do what it takes to get there. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. I'm down 40 pounds. Pick up that free copy of the nutrition and workout guide in the description below if you are interested. I'm the owner of Ensorsale. Ensorsale is family. Together we will rise up from humble beginnings to inspire others all over the world with the messages on our t-shirts, just like the one I'm wearing right now, built brick by brick. Use code FitFutureMD for 20% off and wear your inspiration today. So, entrepreneurship has kind of increased its popularity, especially since, the government kind of signed treaties that made our jobs go overseas, right? A lot of the factory jobs, a lot of the good pension jobs, all that stuff went overseas, right? So the only way to keep our GDP and all that stuff increasing is to increase the number of business owners, small businesses in the market, right? So, and basically a lot of these corporate businesses, especially the big ones, Nike, Adidas, all those, especially apparel, and now even all that stuff is made overseas now, right? And that's because of the treaties that, the government signed and made there be cheap labor, right? But not really here to talk about a lot of that. But you're basically trying to compete as a, one person entrepreneur. So how do you do that? You basically do that with technology, right? And that's kind of beside the point, but so when you're first starting out, you basically have no experience, right? So there's really only that certain things you can do. You can go somewhere and work for somebody and get the experience, or you can figure it out on your own, right? Like I say, I worked in a beach shop, before I started my clothing brand. That's where I learned about heat presses and, stuff like that. So, and t-shirts. And, so I, after I learned that, I started my clothing brand, right? And, so we moved to the beach, Meredith had a job, right, with the city, but I did not, right? So, that's why I walked, and I had no car, no nothing. I was still studying for the USMLE Step 1. We realized we wanted to be in paradise, wanted to be down here at the beach. So I ended up working 3 jobs down here for us to be able to stay down here. So, now I've moved up and, been promoted several times, because of my work ethic. But I still have in the back of my mind, it's basically a side business, but, you want to build the brand until it's actually a permanent staple in society, right? So I have been working those 3 jobs for years, right? And, then all of a sudden I get this big inflow of cash because of my promotions. And instead of having to work 3 jobs, now I work 1 job, and then I'm able to focus on my side business on Ensorsale, right? So that's really how you start a business, right? You start it with what you're experiencing. You have to have some kind of experience to start a business, right? Now, the other thing you can do is to raise capital, or use people that are ahead of you's money to kind of catch up with them, or partner with them, right? And in the venture capital world, that's kind of, what everybody wants. Everybody's like, oh, I don't have any money, I can't start a business, that kind of thing. Where you can convince somebody, you can have such a good plan and such good experience in something that you can convince someone to give you the money, right? Of course, you have to give up equity in your business, right? So, and I'm not willing to do that, right? Because I know that my brand's going to end up being as big as Nike, as big as Adidas, you know, as big as Abercrombie and Fitch, right? Like American Eagle back in the day. My brand's going to end up being that big, right? That's how I feel, right? I know not only through this, like I'm going to help people on the way up, right? You know, and I'm not asking anything in return, you know, to help people, right? That's just who I am as a person, right? If you come and ask me a question, you know, I'm going to do my best to lead you in the right direction. If I don't know, I'll tell you, right? But, you know, and that's just who I am as a person, right? And, you know, you see that in my brand, right? You see that in everything I do. You know, all my stuff is motivational. Like, you can do this, right? But for some reason, people are not willing to make the sacrifice to start their business, right? So if you can't get somebody to give you money and you can't go work somewhere else for a lot less money because you have kids, whatever, you know, obviously, you're going to have to save the money, right? You're going to have to decrease your lifestyle to save the money. And that's really what more of this video is about, is people are not willing to decrease their lifestyle, right? To become an entrepreneur. Because, let's say there's a famous quote from Mark Cuban. He said, "I would rather work 80 hours a week and make $30,000 a year than to work for somebody else." And that's kind of how your mindset has to be. Like, I'm having to work for somebody else right now, and that makes me sick. Makes me sick that I have to work for these people. You know, and that's kind of the mindset that you have to have, right? And you much rather work 80 hours a week and have no time to yourself than to work for those people, right? And we all know those people. Those people are evil people, selfish people. They will throw you under the bus. They will stab you in the back. Like, you're basically on guard 24/7 about what you're talking about. You don't tell them about your family. You don't tell them about your problems going on in your life. Like, you cannot trust these people, right? And that's the culture we're trying to get away from by being a business owner, right? We're trying to get away from people like that, right? And build Dave Ramsey has some things in his organization that if you do these things, you will be immediately fired, no matter what you've given to the information, if you talk crap about him, if you talk crap about your fellow employees, you're in the gossip pool, like, all that stuff was immediate getting fired at Ramsey Enterprises, right? And, you know, there's a good reason for that, because if you let that stuff linger, like you talking about, you know, and that's where everybody else is working, right? Everybody else is working in a culture that's not like that, right? So, you know, in my entrepreneurship journey, I'm trying to build a culture that's like that, where everybody's uplifting, like, hey, you can do this, you know, that type thing, right? Like, you can change your life, you can change your stripes, you know. America still has an American dream, right? It's called investing in yourself, investing in others, investing in causes that are bigger than you, right? And this is what you fight for as an entrepreneur, right? But people are not willing to make the sacrifice to become an entrepreneur. They're too busy buying the brand new car, right? They're too busy covering themselves in tattoos. You make less than 50 grand a year and you're covering yourself in tattoos? Are you kidding me? That could have saved somebody's life with the product you thought of, right? Think about how big that is. Stuff like that. Like, that could have, you know, that could have provided a job to somebody in your local area, you know, kept a family off of food stamps, whatever you want to say, right? Like, that's your responsibility as an entrepreneur, right? And you're blowing the money on a $900 a month car payment. Like, what are you thinking? Right? You're broke. You are broke. and you're just doing stupid stuff, right? Just because you're bored. Stop being bored and stop working on your business. All right? Stop being bored and start working on your business. Right? Like, oh, I want to go home at 5 o'clock every day. But you can't be a business owner. Right? It ain't happening. You're not starting a business going home at 5 o'clock every day. It's just not happening. I wake up at 4 o'clock, 3:45 in the morning every day to work on my business. Even if I'm walking on a treadmill, I'm still working on my business. If I'm sitting somewhere and there's downtime, I'm thinking about my business. Right? It is a 24/7, 365 thing. That's entrepreneurship. And people are not willing to pay the price to be successful. But I am. You can be. Right? So just remember, you're built brick by brick. If you're starting where you have no clue, you don't even know what business you want to go into, start by building brick by brick. You got to educate yourself, right? Invest in your education. Go find out what other people are doing, right, in your local area. What are they being successful at, right? Let's say I had no idea, about any of this stuff before I moved to the beach, right? And worked at a beach shop. No clue. Like, whoa, you're getting this shirt for $3 and you're selling it for $40? Are you kidding me? Right? Or even crazier was like getting shirts for like 33 cents and they were selling them 3 for $10. You know what I'm saying? Like at the time, I don't know whether they're probably selling them 2 for $10 now, but because of inflation. But like I say, guys, entrepreneurship is easy if you're willing to put in the work, right? Willing to put in the sacrifice. You're going to eat crap for a long time, and everybody sees the end, right? Everybody sees the Gary Vee, the Alex Hormozy, the Grant Cardone, where they're just a celebrity, a star, and they're, it seems like they live this grand, lavish lifestyle. Or even, the original Robert Kiyosaki, right? Well, think about if his life is even what you want, right? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, a lot of people out there with billionaires. And Ty Lopez talked about this the other day. Like, a lot of people go in trying to get rich for women, right? For status for women. Well, that shit is way off, right? I'll talk about that in a later video, but you got to be willing to pay the price, right? And if you're not willing to pay the price, you're not willing to sacrifice, make the business plan, raise the money, talk to people about your business, learn what your business is actually about. Like, I'm here to inspire you to do that, right? So think about all the stuff, say there's only a certain number of things you can cut, right? You got minimum stuff, but for the next 5-6 years, you're living a minimalist lifestyle until your business takes off. That's entrepreneurship. That's the sacrifice it takes. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. Pick up the free copy of the nutrition and workout guide in the description below. I'm down 40 pounds. And if you're interested, pick that up. Shop at Ensorsale.com. Wear your inspiration today. Comment down below and tell me the sayings that inspire you, right? Let me know what I can put on a t-shirt for you, right? I'll hook up a nice design and hook it up for you. Ensorsale.com, FitFutureMD for 20% off. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.